What is up? What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Big homie, shout out to Big Homie CC. Big Homie CC ended up in the hospital. Big Homie CC has, without spilling the beans, something happened to him. And in this video, he's going to explain what happened and all kinds of juicy stuff, man. So y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Y'all pray for Big Homie CC. Hope that he's okay and all that good stuff. Y'all check this out, man. Y'all know how we do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy out. Here we go.
What is happening, people? We are back on the Sean Atwood channel. We are live once again with Awaken with Beverly Rhodes, and we have the special guest, Big Homie himself, aka as we call him, God's Knuckle Duster, is here with us.
God's Knuckle Duster. Let's go. Let's go. Hello.
What's
everyone.
going on?
Hello, everyone. Greetings.
So before we get started, we're going to just let YouTube do its thing and send out its algorithmic messages. It'll take about 10 minutes. We're just going to have a nice little chit chat, right? And then I know all of you want us to get to what happened last night, all of this stuff. And we've decided what we're going to do is once we've had a little chit chat, we're just going to let Big Homie tell his side of the story. And then Bev and I will come in with our bits. And then the wonderful, the ever pink Azria is going to dive in to Big Homie's Offworld DNA. And dude, I mean, listen, bro, I'm not gonna lie, we went over mine a little bit, right? We went over mine a little bit, and you don't really get until it's yours and it hits you. You know, it's a wild one, bro. You're gonna do a lot of staring at the floor and wall tonight. But before we get into that, right?
Just to let y'all know, these other two ladies are very powerful spiritual ladies. Hey guys, thank you for watching our videos. If you want to check out our live channel, the Music Recording Network Live, where we dive deeper into videos that we put up and talk about different things that's going on in the world. You can participate in our chat, or you can come on live. You don't even have to show your face. Go to our live channel, subscribe, voice your opinion, because we would like to hear from you and help us come up with solutions. Now, let's continue on with this video. Check it out.
But not to mention anything about last night. Since the last time we saw you, what's been happening? How are you? Like, fill us in on everything up to last night.
Okay, so I have been traveling around a lot, making a lot of appearances, doing a lot of interviews, appearing on podcasts. You know, we do a lot of charity work, you know, giving out toys and food to the underprivileged. So I went around asking certain people I worked with to help. That's been going good. I recently had dinner with Michael Franzese and his family out in California. You know, he's a,
interesting character.
He's an interesting character for sure. And he agreed to partner with me and help me on my crusade and me and my team. So you're going to see him and myself go into the field and actively combat human trafficking. So he's going to come on a retrieval with me and my team. And
that's a bad day for whatever human transporter it is.
Yeah.
Run. You're sitting having your morning human transporter cup of hot beverage, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The birds are chirping. There's a knock at the door. There's Big Homie in a pizza delivery outfit, right? And inside the pizza box is one of those like cut down H&Ks, and then two cars pull up behind. The music kicks in. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. I'm freaking here for it, bro. I'm so here.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Right, so we got that lined up, and it's a lot of interesting events we got lined up.
Wow.
Just surging forward, you know, keep fighting the good fight. You know, standing on business, and just it's almost like I'm like a spiritual awakening for myself, really.
Yeah.
Over like the last
understatement.
Yeah. I can't stop smiling because it's just like, where would I be right now if I did not encounter the teams that I'm about to encounter, And I always felt like there was a batch of lost knowledge from humanity. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I've been researching and studying for a long time. And, I felt like it was a full circle moment to be able to go have dinner with friend Zeus and his family. And then I feel like it was a full circle moment when I encountered y'all, because people used to say, man, big homie, you go talking about magic and crazy stuff again, and it's like now, when I speak about these things, I know who to talk to. And I used to always wonder, like, man, how did I know that? Like, hey, sometime a voice would come into my head and tell me stuff. And, I'm like, I'm going to keep this to myself because, I'm out here working with all these corporate medical professionals, stuff like that. They might try to say, say I'm schizo or something like that. Well, it's like, this is not that. You feel me? Like, this is real world, real time awareness,
That's crazy.
And, my homies always say, like, man, look, big homie put together the plan, then we can go. If he don't put the plan together, we're not going because somehow he always know what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. So like now I've been able to really get some answers. Like I feel different. Like my energy is a lot higher. Like, my skin is like like glowing a little bit different. Like
fabulous. Looking fabulous, as we say.
Yes. Sorry. Fabulous. Absolutely.
But it is. It's like a level up. I mean, this is how I describe it. Right?
Yes. That's accurate.
In the great experience bar of life, I feel like over the last couple of weeks, when we had our solo interview, Big Homie, I feel like we leveled up that night. And I feel like we leveled up again because I swear to God, ask Jaguar Wright and our poor husband. After that night, man, I went on. No, that was after I met Marilyn. I went on that energy spike and just talked the ear off of Jaguar Wright and her husband for about 20 minutes. Honest to God,
no doubt,
unreal, man. It was unreal. Listen, we've got close to 2,500 out the door in under 10 minutes, right?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Why don't you start off with what happened last night? Tell us in your own words. Take your time. Don't rush. Go through the parts that are important to you, and then once you've told your end, obviously we'll continue on with ours. But if you're comfortable doing that, homie,
absolutely. Mm-hmm. I always believe in having a certain level of transparency whenever I'm, indulging in these conversations with high thinking people. These are topics I normally don't speak about because, I firmly believe there's a time and place for everything. Yeah. And you don't want certain information to go upon deaf ears simply because you're not saying what people are interested in or have an understanding of. Mm. So, the month of December carries a lot of grief and mourning for myself, my team, my family, because for some reason we lost a lot of people in December or their birthdays were in December. Yeah. So, I've really been grieving a lot. I've been going through like a period of mourning and, I ended up in a recording studio making a tribute songs, to some of our fallen comrades. My most recent 𝗟𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦 interview, I told people, don't try to tell me how to operate because, my homies, my friends died over this. So December 13th, as a close homie of ours, his name's Real. His birthday was December 13th. Unfortunately, he passed away. He was shot and murdered. And to this day, we can't really track down who did it. The city of Chicago paid his mother like $25,000 because he was pretty much assassinated on Chicago streets, and they can't track down who the person was. And we know what we signed up for. We know that there's always going to be threats, that some we can mitigate, some we can't mitigate. And his birthday was on the 13th, so we've been mourning him. We've been paying tribute to him, and there's a gentleman who we would consider like a spiritual advisor. He told us, if you ever want to speak to your fallen, you need to do so at 2 a.m. According to him, 2 a.m. is dead time, where spirits are most active. So, we listen to that. And at 2 a.m., I get like this weird pressure in my forehead. And then I get this weird nosebleed. Now, remember, Ron, I was sniffling and blowing my nose the entire time.
One second.
You still
You're back. Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
He froze up.
Now, remember, I was sniffling and blowing my nose for like...
You actually said in our solo interview that you had like flu-like symptoms for a while.
Bro, 27 days.
Yeah.
And up until yesterday, I had them, and now today, like everything's just clear. Like that's crazy.
Dude, that's weird, man.
That is weird. Like literally nothing. Like I mean,
it's not weird. We know what it is, but at this point in the story, because no one else knows it, that's fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? That is like
yeah. So this is a big moment for me because like now I can really verify. Like, look, there are aspects and elements that take place in our society that are indeed real. And it's not just a fairy tale. And I'm going to be speaking out about this a lot and spreading awareness simply because the nosebleed happens. And I'm like, okay, it's a lot of blood right here. I don't really understand where it's coming from. Okay, so then I got a driver. Her name is Diana. Diana, her and I became cool because she had an ex who molested her daughter. Mm-hmm. She got arrested for putting a weapon to his head. She gets out. She calls us, and this guy fled to Mexico because there was certain pressure being applied to his existence. So he decided that he was gonna flee. So Diana always prays over me whenever she sees me. So she sees my nose bleeding, and she's like, oh, no, I'm going to get you to the hospital. She gets me to the hospital. Well, before that, I go to the 7-Eleven. I start feeling a little weird. I get back into the vehicle. Seizure. I go black. I wake up. Well, I go black. And it's like I was in a long hallway. But it was just a black, empty, long hallway, like with a very dim light in the distance. And it was crazy because it's like, man, where am I? Like, what's going on? Like, am I asleep? Then I hear a voice, like in the distance. And I felt like this sensation in my toes, into my fingertips, like to the top of my head, like electricity. And like someone was saying my name in a long hallway, and boom, then I was back. And I see my mom looking at me, and she's like, what's happening? Like, son, what just happened? What's going on? And I said, we need to get out of here. So then I finally get back to my phone, and I'm texting Ron. And Ron is not 100% certain that he's even talking to me. He's not 100% certain that he even spoke to my mom. He's going through proof of life protocol. And so I'm like, okay, but I was looking so rough. I was looking so rough. And I'm like, okay, GPS says 8 minutes away from the house. He says, don't text and drive. I'm like, this guy. I love this guy. So my mom says, she says, son, I'm going to drive. So there was a critical moment where Ron says, Bev sees a hand over your face. And Ron was thinking like, man, maybe I'm being held captive. But the thing was, I had a hot towel over my eye, and I'm holding this on my face. So for Bev to see that was just like the most amazing thing ever. Like that right there was like, you know what? I'm going to tell everybody who will listen that they need to tap in. Because I'm like, what could be accomplished if all of the great, brilliant minds and empaths across the world were to assemble? And I think about this often because people reach out to me and say, you have made a change in the world. The fact that a lot of people didn't know that you existed, now that they know, there are a lot of people who are gaining strength and power and they want to come forward now. And like, you know, every day I get 5 or 6 calls on Instagram from different people, and they all they'll say a prayer or a protection over me and just hang up the phone. So, you know, this is a dive that is being taken, and I'm happy about it. Wow. Because yesterday I learned that I really have been under a spiritual attack. Like the energies, the energies are real. Like there's things taking place that are really above my pay grade. Because in my last interview with Ron, when I seen that symbol, I was like, wait a second. I've seen that. Yeah. I have seen that. And then people been heating me up like, oh my God, big homie, I can't believe. They said, wait a second, you really didn't know? Because, you know, I'm not an internet person. You know, I only been on the internet for 6 months. Right. Oh. That is it. You know, this is my 6th month on the internet doing interviews. Most of them are doing a lot of views. And people are finding out about a lot of different stuff. And I am here to say, because what would have happened to me? Where would I be? Because I was in dreamland. And I only had an experience like this one other time. And this was a month ago. It was a month ago. And my mom was telling people, like, look, they were asking her, have this happened before? She said, yeah, it's happened before, but only one time. It was a month ago.
Was it right before you started sniffling?
Directly before I started sniffling.
Yeah, that was the start of it, man. That was the start of it. And the build up, you at your weakest, round about the December time when you're at your weakest. So from now on, that period of time, you go into the back cave, bro. Like you go in bedroom. Okay, you can take your lady, you can take the iPad, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But seriously, that is a notable weakness in your armor. And that's the beauty of balance, okay, where the rest of the year you are an impenetrable force, but for that period of time, you may as well be a wounded little chicken, and one just pick you up and punt you off a bridge. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of mind blowing. We didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that last night, and that all kind of falls into place. But continue going if there's anything else you want to add to your side of this, big homie.
Right. So I want to say I made a post, and I had made a post about myself and Franzese meeting up. And the post was stuck on 666 likes for like 2 days. I screenshotted this and I'll send it to you. I'm like, man, why is my post stuck on this? So then I would click like on it myself, then I go to 667 and then go back to 666. So I'm looking like, So I screenshotted that and I made a post. I say, why is my post stuck on this number? People come through. I've been trying to tell you. In the spiritual world, there are people trying to grab your soul, and you're under attack. You need to say this ritual. I'm like, look, you know.
Stop fearing the signs. What if that was stuck there because 666 is such a profound way to recognize demonic anything, and one of your guides put it there to warn you? Okay,
right.
Do you see what I'm saying? There's too much dwelling on finer points here. Did you see what I mean? You
right.
Don't get lost on them, because a lot of misinterpretation can happen, and we default to what we've been conditioned to think.
Yeah.
So very, very valiant point you just made, sir. Shout out to Ron. I will take this gentleman out for a pint eventually, even if I have to. I'm going to fly there because
good. We're waiting for you.
Yes, because this is a profound moment in my life, because I always knew these type of things were active and real. And remember when I told you I was going to go see the father at the church? I explained to him certain things going on. He says, young man, come out to the car with me.
Oh.
So we go out to his car. He pulls out a pack of cigarettes. He lights a cigarette. He said, listen, I fell in love with my indoctrination and my job. I like what I do. I like doing the Lord's work. Nevertheless, there are other forces and other good energies and realms that exist. I'm not going to say it inside of there, because some people inside of the church can only think one way. The path that you are on, you need to accept all of the help that's coming to you. He said, because I'm sure that Miss Beverly prays the same way that I pray. And for him to give me like that seal of approval, even though some of his peers may have disagreed with him, simply because when he said to me that he fell in love with his indoctrination and he likes what he does, he pretty much just told me, like, look, what you do and what your friends do is very real. It should be taken very seriously. I'll talk to you about this outside of this building, simply because, you know, bro, I'm a giant, bro. I'm 6'6", I'm 400 pounds. I'm always clad in black with a hoodie and shades on. So, you know, when I walk into the church, it's a lot of oohs and ahs. People want to see what's going on. So, you know, he always would tell me, call me before you get here. You know, so people can call me before you get here. So when he asked me to step outside and talk, he said, you know, he pretty much just told me that what's going on is a real thing, and it's just that everyone isn't open-minded enough to accept it. But to come from that guy, you know, he got salt and pepper hair. You know, I think he's like he's the same age as my mom, because my mom was born January 4th, 1962. So him and her have the same birthday. So,
dude, if this is the movie, that's you going to your like grandmaster and asking to go, because you know as it goes against the teachings, right? I'm telling you.
Exactly. And so for me, what you just said right now, you know, previously, you know, I would never have no one to speak about this with, because, you know, my homies, you know, my friends, these guys are gargoyles. You know, it's like, you know, they don't even care about money. You feel me? Like, as long as I'm safe and like we go out, we do our retrievals, that's all that matters to them. If I try to talk to them about their alien DNA, they're gonna say, "Big bro. Listen, we like all of that, but can you please just order us up some chicken and bring some beers in here?" That's what they're gonna request. So it's kind of, you know, so some of them are watching right now though. So it's kind of like, because I explained to them, I'm like, bro, I'm in there celebrating real birthday, and then this and this and this happened. So bringing that type of stuff up, they said they were going to watch. So shout out to the guys in the comments watching. And so I had a pretty harrowing experience yesterday.
I gotta say this, man, because shout out to the people who know they lane. Them people that's all over the place, you gotta sit down. Shout out to the people who know. When I see big homie CC, when I see Ron, when I see people like 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦, I can see people before they even say anything, and I can almost tell. You know, I got something to say. Especially some people, it's like, I don't trust that Slim. What's up, dog? That Slim. Let me tell you something. I don't trust you. You talk too much. You know everything, but you can't get your own life together. You know so much, but you can't get your own self together. And the quiet people, the laid back people, some people be like, look here, man, this is how I am. And like he was saying about his boys, man, look, bring some chicken and some beers, man. That's what we down with. And I'm happy. I want to roll with you and help you and be in the back. That's what he's saying, man. It's deep. It's deep. Know your lane. Shout out to the people that know their lane. Even if your lane is real small, be happy with that lane and stay with it. All these people that trying to act like they YouTubers or act like they bigger than what they are. Mike Cross shut them down, baby. That's what I do. Big homie shut him down. That's what he does.
Team, because I don't know where I would be if Ron didn't get that feeling and then assemble the United Army. Otherwise, I don't know. And I can't stop smiling right now because I feel so much better. I've been so sick. I've been so sick for so many days. Like, it was starting to weigh on my energy. I'm just like, I'm dragging. And my mom was so concerned. So last night, my mom called and said, son, she texted me. She said, son, I'm getting a bad feeling. Something's going to happen to you. And then my girlfriend, Natalie, says, so we stand in the house all night because I don't want, right. And then I talked to Ron. He says, he showed me a coin and he asked, is something terrible going to happen to Big Homie tonight? And it said yes. So the fact that he told me that, you know, these type of things excite me because, you know, I'm at my best and I'm most comfortable in a warlike setting.
Yeah.
But in order to be an adequate soldier, you got to have adequate information.
Yeah.
Now I'm able to garner the type of information I need to be able to battle in the certain realms that I wasn't all the way privy to. So now, you know, I got backup now. And, you know, this has reinvigorated me, I must say. I'm thankful for y'all, you know, pretty crazy experience. And I want to go ahead and get y'all the floor for sure.
Well, I just want to say, Big Homie, thank you very much. Hearing your side, I just want to throw this to Bev because before we go into our side, like, there's so many things, right? That when Big Homie tells his story, and when we start bringing our pieces together, I think people are going to get a better feel for why Big Homie's so kind of blown away by all of this. And here's how it played out from how it started, right? We were online, Bev and I, and Julia and John. Someone in the side chat, right, turned right. Big Homie, I'm going to mute your mic just for the background noise just now. Someone in the side chat said, hey, can you ask about Big Homie? And I'd spoken to Big Homie through text about 3 hours before this. So I was like, everything's good, everything's great, don't worry. And then for no reason at all, out of nowhere, I get a message that says he's in a bad way. He's had a seizure, right? And I'm like, what is happening right now? And then it says it's his mum. And I'm like, this is the most, like, he's been kidnapped by the cartel. Someone's got his phone and they're trying to like make sure that, you know, people that are going to be looking for him get fed a story. So my alarm bells are ringing. So I said, hey, do you mind if I phone you? Right. And I'll be honest with you, it wouldn't matter if I believed it was Big Homie's mum I'm not going to, in a situation like this, I'm not going to believe anything anyone tells me. So, very nice lady. I had to just make sure that she felt like I was a trustable individual, and that's what I did. I got off the phone and I phoned Jaguar and her husband. And I said to them, listen, I need you to phone Big Homie as if you're just phoning out the blue. And if anyone else answers, just ask what's going on, all the rest of it. So they started doing that. Then found out that there's the possibility of someone checking on Big Homie at home. So I come back to the computer, right? And I sit down and I look again at the messages from Big Homie's mum. And it was like the whole right-hand side of my body felt like an anxiety attack, but without the anxiety, like butterflies all over my body, and then rippling heat, right? But rippling heat, that it wasn't comforting, it wasn't discomforting. It was like, if you didn't act now, the heat's going to get hotter. So I just felt this overwhelming rush to get Beverly, right? Went on the stream, pulled Beverly out the stream, explained everything, and Beverly went into what she does. And after getting that red alert, I handed over to Bev. And up until what I'd like to do now is just sort of go through with Bev what happened next, and she can tell us from when she came in. Wow. And then we'll go from the next section. But Bev, yeah. So I pulled you off the live stream. You've started getting concerned because you couldn't just automatically zone in. So go from there, because I've never seen you with not a panic face, not a worried face, but anything.
The working face, which is why I want you said working face coming.
No, not the working face. Before all that happened, just as you came off the podcast, in your regular Beverly-ness essence, you just, for a split second, the calm and serene face changed. Like, I seen the urgency, and it was like, oh no. So at that moment, take us through your end.
When you know, when you feel it, when you know. It has happened to me too many times. When you know. And when you get this feeling, real talk, when you get this feeling, when you know, you looking at other people like, if I try to explain to you what I know, you ain't gonna believe me. So why should I waste my breath? And you looking at them saying all this in your mind. You don't say it out your mouth. And you're saying, I feel so sorry. Because you don't understand what you about to go through. Especially when you know, when you about to whoop somebody's tail, I don't know, when you about to, that's what Mike Tyson used to do to people in the ring, man. You can tell. That's why I say that. I hate to get way off subject. Mike Tyson didn't look at that boy like, Slim, I'm sorry that you actually even thought this was good for you. Mike Tyson didn't do that, man, that last fight. That's why I know it was fixed. Mike Tyson used to look at them people in the ring and say, I don't know why they even talk you into taking this butt whipping. So when you know.
Face changed. Like, I seen the urgency, and it was like, oh no. So at that moment, take us through your end.
So at that time, I'd already, by the time you saw the worried face, I'd already gone in 3 times to Homie to go and see if I could get there's some sort of an energy out of him. And that's when I saw the hand, but then I also saw him sliding. And then I realized, he's down that tunnel. He's down the tunnel. And that's when I said to you, I've got to pull him out. I know where he is. I've got to pull him out. And that's when I then went and co-located and grabbed him and then shouted like hell. Really the strongest I've ever done. And said to him, come back here. Now, come back here right now, this minute. Yeah. And really gave him what for. And I think that was part of that. And I could see that he was sort of half and half. And I said, no, this is not happening. we're gonna start pulling him back. And he turned around and he looked at me as if to say, who's this cheeky one? Why is she shouting at me like this, for goodness sake? And I said, right, come on, let's go. And that's when that white light came, and then I pushed him. I pushed him straight back into his body. And that's what happened at the time. And that's when I said, we're going to have to close up, get him back, move him out, and then get him to somewhere that's safe so that they can't get to him.
Well, if you think that's it all, it doesn't end there. No. So what Bev just told you there, there was a part, let's say two-thirds of the way through Bev's story, where she phoned me and she's doing what she's doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, third eye, fire the third eye energy. Don't go panic mode.
Yeah.
So then I went back to the computer, and Bev and Big Homie, I swear to God, simultaneously, Bev said, I've got him. And Big Homie's mum said, he's just set up and he's talking. And then the next message was Bev saying something that was almost what the next thing was being said. And then it just went like this. And I'm sitting there, right? And you've got to understand, I'm really good at keeping my cool and processing everything, right? But I was fanboying out during the red alert, right? So they're typing all of this. And then that's when Bev went back on the podcast, and I went into, I need to see the video call. That's where we're up to in Big Homie's story, where I needed to see the video call. Now, he did video call me, and I will say, I know Big Homie's secret. He has a 4-foot red mohawk, and he wears a bald cap. Okay. And I'm just telling you right now, that is Big Homie's secret. So it's out there. But I'm telling you now, I have never in my life, we were just talking about how you have to act. The minute the doubt sinks in with magic, it goes, right? You have to act. And that's what I did. But here's the next thing. The reason that I rushed Bev off, right, was I pulled a card for Big Homie. Oh. And that card was grief. Now, after hearing about his brothers, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
Listen to the first two. This is all I read before I pulled you off. They have funerals and gather solemnly around their fallen friends. That was when I just pulled you off the podcast right there and then. Yeah. Because the grief card was relevant to his feelings, but those two lines were the guided warning that I needed. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I have a coin and I hate this coin, right? This coin is covered in rust and it has yes and no on it. To me, this is one of the most brutal and powerful tools I have, because there's no room for interpretation. Okay. Yeah. And it has never been wrong, and I hate it. And I spun this for Big Homie last night, and I asked, I can't remember if it was is or was Big Homie in danger tonight, and it came up as yes. Then we found out that Big Homie was getting on a plane, right? And we all decided to do our thing. Also, as well, can I just say, there's nothing funny about protection spells, but when your picture of Big Homie on the altar, right, where he's like it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Like it's so good. So all I can do is send Alan, right? So I've sent Alan out and put an incantation and a spell with Alan that if anyone tries to hurt Homie, that is tenfold reflected back and inflicted on their flesh and bone. And it was weird because I've never done that before. And it was like as if I was holding Alan on the left and Homie was holding him on the right, because I send out from the left and receive from the right. And yeah, that was that. I had a very interesting sleep. And then when Homie messaged me and said that he'd landed and he was safe, it was like I felt whole again. It was nice. But what in the living, like, listen, I'm going to be honest with you all. All of this is real. None of this is nonsense.
No, sadly not nonsense.
Effectively, I got a warning. Why did your mum message me? That's another thing. Of all the people in your phone, why did she message me?
This was because I told her that I had to do an interview with you but I told her that yesterday. I told her that the day before, but she said she didn't. She said she didn't even know why. She just said that something told her that she needs to message you in particular. And I always wear a hoodie. You feel me? I like hoodies. I always wear a hoodie. And when I was in the airport, I'm like, man, I just feel like there's somebody always walking behind me or like watching me. So I would keep my hoodie down. So I'm keeping my hoodie down. And it got to the point where I said, you know what? I'm just going to stand up against this wall right here. So I plug in my phone in a little port on the wall, and I'm just standing up against the wall. And I was like, man, what is going on? Like, why do I feel like... And then he didn't tell me about Alan until today. He didn't tell me about that until today. So I'm in the airport kind of freaking out, like, what they... Because, you know...
I mean, I did message you last night, but obviously you never got them until or whatever. But yeah, I'll always let you know. But it's up to you to read the message. So you're right. And check your DMs.
Right. But I didn't know anything about Alan until
later.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, what? This is not fake. And you know, I want people to understand something.
That all happens.
You know, I'm a very serious person, you know. There have been several attempts on my life. You feel me? I sent Ron and I sent him footage of this. You feel? So you know, I'm somebody who has been proven that I'm hard to kill in the physical world. Because there's no such thing as tough. There's either trained or untrained.
True.
And you know, in the world that I operate in, I'm a highly trained individual, you know, and, you know, I'm somebody you might have to poison.
There's no such thing as tough. See, sometimes it's so much information going. I have to stop it. Because y'all wouldn't get it. It'll fly right over your head. So I stop it on the very important things to say, there's no such thing as tough. There's even trained or untrained. Now, bravery, some people are brave and they don't care if they get beat up. Does that mean you're tough? You're tough because you'll jump out there and fight quicker. You got bravery. And I don't know, a coward, or it's like fight or flight. One of the two things you're going to do. Ain't no gray area. And you even train. If you're going to fight, if you know your senses is the first thing you think of is fight, then go get training. That's what he's saying. Go get training for that. If your first sense is, and be real with yourself. This is the part that kills me. A lot of people that they first senses is to fly. They in there doing karate and kickboxing and all that stuff. Then when the stuff hit the fan, they all confused. I got all this training, but I'm ready to run.
And you know, in the world that I operate in, I'm a highly trained individual. You know, and you know, I'm somebody you might have to poison. I've been poisoned. I sent him footage of this. You feel? So you know, because there's no such thing as tough. There's either trained or untrained.
True.
And you know, in the world that I operate in, I'm a highly trained individual. You know, and you know, I'm somebody you might have to poison. I've been poisoned.
Do you know why you did that, big homie?
Why?
You felt compelled to prove that you're not an easy target. When
for sure
you've been taken out by something you've never experienced before, and your default was almost to defend your own honor.
Absolutely.
And just as long as you know, it was never necessary. But that to me is what I got from you, and it was. And I tell you something, man. Like, you're looking fantastic compared to the interview. Compared to
very shiny, very, very shiny. And I'm sorry I had to shout at you. Because I know you saw me.
I swear to God, on my grandmother's life.
She said, I'm sorry that I had to shout at you. I'm sorry for shouting at you. She's a sweetheart, man. She's a sweetheart. I'm so sorry that I yelled and shouted at you while you was going down the tunnel, while you was basically dying. But I had to bring you back. So, but I apologize for shouting. That's deep right there. I like that.
And I'm sorry I had to shout at you because I know you saw. I know you saw me.
I swear to God, on my grandmother's life, I saw you, but it was like you were far away. But I heard you so loud,
screaming at you.
Yes, and I opened my eyes and I sat up. I see my mom, and she's like, "Keith, what is going on?" I'm like, "Mom, we gotta get out of here." And she's like, "Well, you gotta get the IV out your arm." So while Ron is telling me, "Listen, dude, you motherfucker, you have to call me right now. If not, I need to see your face." So I'm like, okay.
That's funny, man, because that's how Ron talk, man. I talked to Ron on the phone. Shout out to Ron, man. You crazy mother beep. You mother beep. Ron likes to bust people chops. He says bust people balls. I guess balls you can say balls. Ron calls, us YouTubers, I'm getting into the YouTube circle, y'all. So thank y'all, everybody who Big Homie CC, Ron, Jaguar Wright, Too Strong, all the channels that welcome me. Thank y'all so much. Ron called, we talking on the phone, man, and I'm excited because I'm like, these people to me are stars. So Ron is like, he left me a message. Pick up the phone, you son of a, hey buddy, I love you, man. And the more he cussing me out, the more I'm like, cuss me out, baby. That let me know that you love me. Shout out to Ron, man. I had to take that time to do that.
Well, you got to get the IV out your arm. So while Ron is telling me, "Listen, dude, you motherfucker, you have to call me right now. If not, I need to see your face." So I'm like, okay, hold on. I don't want to call right now. I got the stuff in my nose. I got.
You did it, bro. You did it. Like, honestly, there's probably a handful of people that have seen you in a vulnerable position like that. And you did it. You did it because you knew this was proof of life scenario, and I'm freaking out.
Yes, and I gotta follow protocol. So yeah.
You do. That's it.
Yeah.
Got to. Yeah.
Like, I can't stop smiling because I seen myself yesterday and I was like, yo, even at the last interview, I was looking rough, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, like I'm blowing my nose. I was sick for 27 days.
Yeah, well, we know now after the show, give us the rough date this started so that we can plan for next year, and you need to walk around all of this.
Get ready.
I'm going to be prepared.
Time for you to come to Scotland and visit us all. It's probably then, and we'll just go and sit collectively in a stone circle and eat steaks and watch stuff on our tablets until the that chill out period. Do you know what I mean?
I am 100% down for that, and I want everybody that's watching this to know I am not a person who is going to ever invent or embellish information. I'm only going to speak on things that I can confirm to be facts. And I want everybody to know that I hear you. True. I want everybody to know that this queen, this eternal being up here, this guy, I can vouch. This information, this has changed my life. This has changed how I approach things because I've been in more shootouts than guys been on dates. I'm somebody that there are groups of collectives of dark people who I know. If they know that I'm outside, I know they think about me at night. I know that they know that at any given time they might have to encounter me. I know that I'm somebody who have survived attempts. I've seen my own blood. I've seen my own blood. I've caused bloodshed. I never harmed anybody who did not deserve it. I never operated out of callous. I never done anything maliciously. But I know that in order for a man to combat evil, he must be able to enact evil at times. And I always wanted I wanted the guys who thought it was funny to gang rape women. I wanted them to feel the same level of terror. There was a situation where there was a gentleman.
Careful with the words. Careful with the words you use. Remember, this is YouTube.
Yes, pardon me.
Right, like and subscribe. Right. Like and subscribe.
Okay, absolutely. I'm going to watch my language here. I'm going to speak as eloquently as possible. There was a situation that was brought to us where there was a lady who had cameras inside of her home. She was dating a man, and while she was at work, she decided to randomly check the camera feed, and she said she heard rhythmic smacks, and she heard her daughter screaming for Jesus.
Oh.
What?
Right. So
ask questions later scenario.
So the only people at her house is her new boyfriend and her 13-year-old daughter.
Wow.
On the camera, she says she heard rhythmic smacks and her daughter screaming and crying out for Jesus to help her and save her. We all know what those rhythmic smacks were.
Mm-hmm. We do.
There's a SA taking place at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
This gentleman was brought under scrutiny.
Good.
And I've looked into several men's eyes when they thought they were about to perish. And this gentleman cried out for Jesus. And shout out Big Dugar. Dugar said to him, he said, bro, that little girl was crying out for Jesus too. So unfortunately for you, he's not coming here today. And this this gentleman was relieved of a few molars.
Yeah, he made it to the bag. He made it to the bag.
Yeah, he made it to the bag. So once those molars were removed out of his jawline, and
by a professional medical dentist YouTube algorithm, just so you know.
Yeah, dentist.
This is a story about when Big Homie was interning as a dental nurse. Carry on, Big Homie.
Dentist. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Y'all get it, right? Y'all got it.
There's a gentleman I know by the name of Luis Elizondo, and Luis Elizondo ran the U.S. government's torture program at Guantanamo Bay.
He did.
They actually put warrants out for him in the UK because they called him the Darth Vader of the military. And one thing I learned was when someone is under a certain level of scrutiny, you have to provide relief. And during those moments of relief, that's when they're going to tell you all of the other terrible things they've done. And you learn a lot about people when they're under extreme levels of duress. Now,
training.
This is training. Those molars that were removed from this gentleman by medical professionals, those are on a little necklace, and that lady's daughter, that young lady's mother wears that necklace daily with those molars on it. And I thought to myself, I said, is this going to be the last time that I get to make sure a little lady gets some vengeance because someone enacted a level of evil upon her. And when she called the police, they didn't believe her. She told her family. They said she was crazy. Oh. And people just like Beverly, people like Ron, get treated the same way in society. Oh, she's a kook. Oh, he's crazy. Don't believe anything they say. All that stuff they talking about is witchcraft. That's the parallel with what I do and entering into this world.
Yeah.
That's the parallel, because if I didn't have this experience and I just went and told people this, they would say you're crazy. Oh, we don't believe you. Why is that?
Yeah.
In any courtroom in the world, eyewitness testimony and circumstantial evidence is enough to give somebody a life sentence. But when we speak amongst our peers, everything gets questioned. Oh, that's crazy. That can't possibly exist. But we know oxygen exists and we can't see it. We know we can't live it up.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. When it comes to talking to those who doubt what we're about to speak of, homie, it's important that we put it in a way that they can absorb. That's why I talk about movies a lot, and I talk about, comparing us to a Dungeons and Dragons, dungeon raid team and all this kind of stuff, because it's processing. It's easy for people to process. But what I will say to you is, there's those who are open and those who aren't, and there's so much to be done. You will not be able to enlighten them all.
No. Absolutely. Well put.
And I just want to say as well, I'm a tiny little baby learning all of this.
No doubt.
I'm one of those Amazon attack alarms for a big homie on a spiritual sense.
Looks like it. Absolutely. Really, you did good.
Street justice.
You did great.
It just came to me.
Was the one who done all the heavy lifting.
It just came to me. Street justice. We need to form some type of street justice, and which I believe in that. You got court justice and everything that don't work all the time. Ain't that right, O.J. Simpson? Court justice, Trayvon, the little boy, rest in peace. You got court justice that don't work all the time. Street justice is, in today's world, you need a different type of justice. The streets don't snitch. The streets don't talk to the police. So to level out all that, because if you did talk to the police, maybe some of this stuff in court would go down. They paying people off. Street justice is, we seen the proof that this man is wrong. This man is raping a 13-year-old. Forget a court and put him in handcuffs and all that stuff. Kick his motherfucker. Oh, excuse me. Street justice.
We done all the real stuff, and for me it's witchcraft. For Beverly and Azria, I wouldn't just throw them under that. And you know what's interesting, big homie, right?
Yes.
When you say when you talk to people, they say these things. For me, I'm the opposite, right? Because
okay.
You know how you talk about human transportation, and within 5 minutes, people are convinced of the sincerity of human transportation.
Yes.
That's how I speak of this stuff. And you're just at the beginning, man. And I've been trying to convince people about, I've been a lost soul in a magical buffet, not knowing what I'm doing. And now it's like binoculars being put into focus on certain things.
Absolutely.
I'm nearly on a journey. And I just want to say to Beverly, to Azria, to Marilyn, to Danny, to all of these highly tuned human beings, I just want to say thank you for everything you've taught me so far, how you've helped me. But you've also done it in a way where you're letting me walk my own path, and then I sort of come running back to you and go, look what I've discovered, and you kind of confirm it for me. And that for me is way more important than any kind of, I don't want to be taught anything. I want to have confirmation of what I'm finding, because then it's a journey, if that makes sense.
Of course. And it's experiencing, and that's what you're doing. You're learning in various steps. And I think that everyone is doing extremely well. The awakening is happening. It's upon us. Everybody is at their own various levels, and everyone is just expanding at a rate of knots, and it can't help but let you just smile that it's just all there, which is fantastic.
Well, here's an interesting one, big homie. So last week we had Marilyn on, and we were talking about residual energy within, so for example, videos. Now, when we think about a spell book from Dungeons and Dragons, right? So you've got the spellcaster, flicks to a page, starts reading the spell. So imagine instead of the spellcaster being on your dungeon run, you've got YouTube playlists that are private that are for if you're about to enter a house, and you've got Marilyn doing her freaking
amazing stuff.
Good. Listen, it's called 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦. It's called 𝗗𝗢𝗡, and it's purely healing. It's one of those things that you just don't question it, because it was the maddest experience of my. It was almost like you're drinking like imagine just drinking a whole pile of energy drink all at once, and it just going bang. That's
fantastic.
And she's doing all this stuff on the screen. She's doing her breathing, and everything that is happening is calculated and precise, and all of this. And it was wild. So imagine over time, you sort of say, right, okay, so there was a situation I was in where I could have used this or that. Now, I'm not saying, right, invisibility is possible, but coincidence where everyone who could see you getting distracted just for a moment, just going like this as you walk past the street this way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something I think would be interesting to play around with, because making people not notice you is what I want to try and play around with. Because if I'm just in tune with the little people that are on the elemental plane, they can be buzzing past someone's face where they sort of turn like this while you're walking. There's a lot of interest in metaphorically speaking, contractual processes to do in my brain, because I'm excited. When I'm learning the clairvoyance and pulling things out of people's heads, or they're projecting them into mine, my end game is to be able to put things in people's minds. So
no doubt.
That's the end game. I see us all on a
journey.
No. I'm thinking the end game. I'm thinking the final quest. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, but listen, that is the big homie story. I want you all to put a 1 in the side chat if you're a believer. I want you to put a 2 in the side chat if you weren't a believer, but then you heard big homie talking about this and now you're a believer. Put a 3 in the side chat if you're very respectfully not a believer. And if you're not a believer, instead of sitting there going, I don't believe you, negative projection, start doing this. I believe that they believe this. I'm okay with that. Believe in us and our belief in this. And that is a positive projection. But do you know who has been very patient for the last like 48 hours or 24 hours?
Murph is one of our mods. He's working with us also.
This, and that is a positive projection. But do you know who has been very patient for the last like 48 hours or 24 hours?
It's our Azria.
And I just want to say, when it comes to the off-world DNA and everything that's about to happen, this is Azria, okay? I know it's Beverly's show. I'm the humble co-host, the Padawan, but Azria is a whole different supernatural. How would you describe it, Azria? How do you define your talents? Like, because I mean, I'm just say I'm a witch and a magic. How do you pigeonhole yourself for society?
Pigeonhole.
Okay. I would follow on from everything that you guys have been talking about in regards to frequencies and energies, and I work with energies in a different way. The same with Marilyn worked with energies in one way. I work with energies and frequencies in another way. So it's being able to tune in. And with me, I just use various different tools as well as channeling to do that. I think from that would, yeah. So
I feel like you're this. I feel like you're a cosmic scientist. That's the vibe.
Oh, nice. That's the
first time I've
you've got for example, right? Like, you know how if this was just like a radio you were building, right? and you're tinkering away and you're trying to get that to work, but it's not. It's a freaking cosmic device, and I just get that vibe, and I'm just so here for it all. And
man, we're gonna have to stop it right here because we try to keep our videos 1 hour. Big homie, I'm so glad that you are okay. Shout out to Ron, man. Ron is the glue that it's almost like if you're trying to run a successful, I don't know, YouTube channel, you want your business to be successful, you need to get in contact with somebody that knows Ron. And Ron and his team with Sean Offworld, god dang, man. And they're in the UK. I'm trying to tell you, because Ron is on that spiritual side with Beverly and this other lady. I don't even know her. I'm just meeting her, so I apologize. Yeah. Big homie CC, I heard it from him. And it's almost like, if you know it's something out there, right? If you believe in God, a higher power, just like we have black, white, male, female, we got living dogs, living animals, birds. If you believe in a higher power, this is just me, God, that's all you believe in, is just that. It ain't no God has cousins, uncles, he got good and evil. If you believe in God, there's no such thing as the devil. And all this stuff working together, some spirits and all that. You have to, you know what I'm saying? Some people believe in all this stuff, some people don't. Some people pick and choose what they want to believe in. But my subconscious mind lets me know that there's something out there. It is something. You can tap into it. You can ignore it. You can ignore it, and it won't work for you. But if you tap into it and you feel it, there has been things that when I was building this recording studio, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it, and every day God is gonna tell me what I should do, or I should do. You know what? I wanted a fish tank. I always wanted a house with a room with the fish tank. You could look through the fish tank, right, and see the other room. This is my chance to do that. So I did it. Because I told 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦, rest in peace, one day I'm going to have a house where there's a fish tank that you can see through to see the other wall. I told him that, and now it came true. I made it come true. I ain't think it was going to be like this. I thought it was going to be a big old $1 million house. I ain't know it was going to be a house I'm barely affording. You know what I'm saying? But it came true. Now, it's the last thing I'm going to say, man. I want to say this. Rest in peace to my brother who was a drummer. And all day long, when I got the news, all day long, something was wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it. Whatever. Palm sweating. I don't know what it is. Like I left the stove on. But I'm at home. Let me go down there and check the stove. I ain't do no cooking. Something was wrong. Then all of a sudden, a friend of my brother calls. This friend didn't even have my phone number when I was living at home with my mother. He never called me. He's a friend of my but I knew him. I mean, we was cool. This guy calls me. I got my own house. I don't live with my parents. He calls me at my house. How did you get my number? Oh man, what's going on? He waited for me to say something. Oh, nothing much, man. I'm like, why are you calling me? That's what's in my mind. Yeah, oh, nothing, man. What you been up to? Oh yeah, man, you know, cause whatever. So what's been up, man? Nothing, man. I'm like, why you call? I said, dude, yeah, I'm happy to hear from you. But how did you get my number? Oh man, yeah. Ty gave me your number. Ty who? Ty so I don't even know. I know who the Ty he's talking about, but Ty don't have this number. How did she get my number? Oh man, don't worry about it, man. I just got it from her, man. So what's been up, man? I mean, talk to me. Nothing. What? I mean, what? So finally, he just said, well, look, man, I'm just going to come out and say it, man, because there's a lot of people spreading this rumor, man. I don't want you to believe it, man, but they said that your brother committed suicide. When he said that, he said, man, I know it ain't true and everything, man. It's a rumor. And I said, I'm going to call Mike, because if Mike don't know, then I know it ain't true. But look, man, they saying that your brother committed suicide. Soon as he said it, I swear to you, as soon as he said it, I told him, I said, Reggie, I hate to tell you this, man, but I felt it. It's real. It's true. I said, Reggie, I hate to say this, man, but I feel it, man. It's true. Nah, man, nah, don't say that. Don't say that. Nah, don't say that. And I'm trying to find in my soul, I'm trying to tell him, my brother, I wish these words wasn't coming out my mouth, my brother. I'm saying that my brother passed away, man. I'm trying to find the words to let you know, man, I don't want this either. But I feel that it's true. I knew it was true. I knew it was true, man. I felt it. Now I see why I was feeling like this all day long. I hung up the phone and called my mother. And I couldn't even leave a message. There was so many messages on the answering service that back then it was a machine as an answering service. It was filled up. It was filled up. When I called my mother and she finally picked up, she said, I am on the phone on the other end with somebody I don't even know that's been calling. And they said, Miss Cross, I done called 10 times. And she clicked over, perfect timing to talk to me. And she said, there is 68 messages on the answering service. And I said, well, I'm on my way over there. And she said, okay, you come over, I'm calling the police. By the time I got there, it was so many cars on my mother's street, so many people over there, as they looked at me as I walked up to the door. And my father was not even there yet. Yeah, my father was out of town over a friend's house or whatever the case, where he was on his way home. He don't have a cell phone or anything, was trying to get the information. But I'm here to tell you, if you felt something before and then it came true, or you felt something and you came up with an answer or a solution, that's God. That's God. Look here, man. I pray every day. I look up. When I say take it light, take it slow, tell them Uncle Mike told you so. I'm looking up to my dad, who blessed me with all his talent. I'm looking up to my brother, who pushed me and made me do this talent. Sometimes I didn't want to do it. He said, go in there and practice that guitar. Man, I couldn't beat him, but I wouldn't mind fighting him. I would fight him if I had to. I would lose, because see, if I cry real hard, mommy and daddy will come. Yeah. And I love you all. I love my family. I love everybody. I love my haters. I love the people who hate on me. I love y'all. Why? Because everybody serves a purpose in my life. Everybody serves a purpose in my life. And I love my enders. So if you listen to the end of this right here, you know Mike Cross a little better. Don't forget to go to our live channel, because last night I showed off on the live channel. You might want to go look at that live and go at the end. I showed off. I'm a little rusty, but we did some music yesterday, man. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.